Okay, on a kusha with Fambulem, and welcome to the Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh Gentri program. And today, at the 57th session, today we'll look at the overview of the thyroid gland. You know that thing that we can call Adam's apple. Today we can learn bottom. I know we lie tell on one and I know be no, but could they can't talk so today. I know we get a clue. And I believe see a lot of we don't know waiting that thing they did for waiting not even a actual name. Some of them not be even know. But now I make this program day. For the one they would on learn book for them can explain to we waiting in TRB, you know how then they function, and also which are the thing they go for look out for, which are the thing that we can go wrong, pardon here. And if you know if something go wrong, which you for look out for, when you forget concern for go to doctor. If you go to doctor waiting for look at, you know, who's kind of question for ask, then kind of thing, and I make this program then we're not a give and personalized advice, i.e. for let somebody come for personal consultancy. The reason we make do not because we no want help people them know that we do all this for help people, but the problem is we're not waiting at your medical background, so we're not able to give you know a personalized advice. So we will give general advice. We'll say normally in their situation you're not this and this and this could happen. If you want personal advice, I will say see your physician for consultancy. Okay. As I say today, on the 15th of September 2022, and that Dr. Rashid Conteh, na him they present today, and me, Natimo John Fuller. Me, not a medical doctor, me an IT business consultant, are they into security. Information on cyber security, na me they into me not have anything about medicine. So myself they like layman, I learn myself the learn. Okay. And we will get people within the Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh Gentri team, other doctors, then we go back, Dr. Rashid. So any form of question you get, the doctors them, I believe say no matter what, they will try to answer you. If we never answer your question, I most likely will take them away until you say we'll get back to you if the situation, you know, complicated. But we get enough doctors them, we get, you know, we get GPs them, we get general practitioners, we get emergency medicine consultants, we get gynecologists, we get public health, we get mental health nurse, we get the whole lot. Okay, so anything you ask, I believe somebody must be for answer you. We even get nutritionists as well. Okay. As I mean, say, the group we not they get paid. In fact, most of we now would lost money out of the pocket for long make sure say discount owner. This is not about money. This is about making sure say we people them with the back home. Most of the one know the back home. Don't know the Europe, yes. We will try for help, we will try for teach them, we will try for sensitize them and stuff. It's good, but the people that really want to target are the one then with the back home because them that it will be difficult for them to go to hospital or it be expensive for them to go see doctor. So myself can be, you know, it can feel, you know, that way they not for go to doctor because of money issue, because of beliefs and whatever like that. And this wording we fortunate enough if made at me say if I go hospital, they go hospital, it didn't cost me anything. But I know the back home, then kind consultants and they can cost them money. But waiting now, so we need to take no money, but not the sponsor. We now we self do no more because we want to help the people them. But we ask, continue for us. Do you have somebody there within the audience? We will make this program reach back home. We were very, very happy for engage. Some of the people who don't come forward so far, unfortunately, the media houses back home, they want money. You know, and some of the money they call is just too much. You know, we will not go down study, left for family business, and if we prepare this and get for pay that kind of money they back. But once we get to charity status, hopefully money will come in. Money come in, we'll not mind for pay because at the end of the day, like I said, it's not about we. It's about making sure say the people that we really need this support, this help, and get help. Okay. As I mean, they say we get a YouTube channel where all the program that we will record, they all day on YouTube, just in case you missed the show. Go on YouTube. If you look for Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh Gentri or WBBPG, sorry. If you go on YouTube, you will find out. If you also go on Facebook, we did it. But if you have contact on WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp number is. At some point during the presentation, I will even share a link of how you can join the WhatsApp group, not a place where everybody will be able to chat. So you not get for the put up with a lot of information now. The only information that they really get that from the doctors, and that if they see something very important, we will benefit the group, then we'll put on the. If not, the only two you will get are just flyer and the link to the show. So nobody gets junk. Okay. As I said before, when the time comes for ask question, you will get ample time for ask question. If you look now, you keypad or now your phone, you will get these 3 dots. If you click on them, you can either chat like I do no more on Facebook or WhatsApp. You can chat to we send questions and stuff like that. We can answer you. And also you can raise your hand using this function here. When I see that day, I will come to you. However, if you not sabi do all this, maybe you need to like me, mama and papa. We know maybe not going to understand how to use this. Just put your hand up physically. If I see you, I will come to you and I will make the take your question. Okay. As I will say, you can send me email with any question you ask or suggestions or feedback. Maybe there's a way we will do things we will benefit we all. We will do ways for improve. We're not go vex because somebody give feedback or you give you direction and say we go vex for that. No. Feel free for reach out. Tell me what you think. We'll take them on board. Okay. So now, without further ado, I will hand over to Dr. Rashid Conteh when I'm going to take on through this session today.
Good evening. Today we go look at the thyroid gland, just an overview. Personally, I feel very privileged for the as long small one among them the big one. So without any further ado, then we carry on with this thyroid gland. Inside this talk today, we will look at the structure and the functions of the thyroid gland. We will look at the function of the hormones or the messenger way this gland make. We will see how this messenger they control what they do in the body. We will also try for look quickly how the messenger, the body self they make the messenger. Then we will look at conditions where they cause the abnormal function of the messenger. Then we will at last look at the cancer of this thyroid gland, where I think Krio they call Gegenathrot. Okay, we say this gland there in the body. While this gland there just between the larynx, which we call the voice box, below the voice box, and above the collarbone there. The gland get two wings there, it sounds like a butterfly. The narrow side, where they in between, we call an isthmus. The gland itself, it wrap around the windpipe, where we call the trachea. And this gland, it gets a rich blood supply. From there, two major vessels that are around the neck. The normal gland itself, the thyroid gland or the Gegenathrot, if not the word that for the Krio, it weighs 30 grams. If you now look at this picture, the one where they on top, now the normal one, the one bottom, it will weigh more than 30 grams, now the abnormal one. As I've been said before, this gland gets a very rich blood supply. But if you cut small pan this gland and look now under the microscope, now so you will see each of the cells there where they on this gland. So we will look at now the functions of the thyroid hormones or the messenger where this gland they make. Well, as I say, the thyroid gland or the Gegenathrot, we just don't see inside there and now and now they make them messenger. I will call them chemical messenger. But actually the name now T3 and T4. Well, their messenger now then they regulate the body in speed. So that means this messenger T3 and T4, let we call them speed man. Then they control the body in speed. That means if you get too much of the messenger, the body go up at high speed. If it gets too low, then the body will slow down by all the way it is. Now the blood they transport then messenger, then speedman 3, speedman 4, then we call it so for simplicity. So now the blood they transport there all side of the body. And their messenger, they affect all signs of the body, every side. Now we see how this messenger, the body they make. The body they make the messenger, now they get in a throat itself or the thyroid gland. But before the thyroid gland even make this the messenger, they need iodine. The iodine then are the blood where we they get from the food where we eat. So this iodine, if they are charged to one protein where the body they make, we call them thyroglobulin. So their iodine molecules, they are charged to this protein, and then after all the process, the enzyme then at the body, they break down this protein, and then they release the messenger, the way as speedman 3, speedman 4. One the way go book called the T3, T4. So the body, they release them now to the blood, and inside the blood, we get again one other protein where they bind the messenger. We call them thyroid binding globulin. So now they bind the messenger and transport them to the body. What then at this slide now, what I don't tell you now. So how the body they make this messenger and how they release them at the body for transport them go outside. But how the body itself they control the messenger? Well, we get a hierarchy of control. What they happen is, as I say, now the thyroid gland now they make the messenger speedman 3 and speedman 4. But so what they happen if the thyroid gland no make enough, then the brain part then at the brain, the bottom part of the brain, what we call the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus, they send messenger. Now we call them TRH for simplicity. So this messenger, in the come at the anterior pituitary gland. This messenger, TRH, they tell the pituitary gland, like it send messenger to the thyroid gland. So the pituitary gland, they send EO messenger, where they in blue, we call them TSH. So this messenger, they come at the thyroid gland and tell us, now for make more messenger. So then the gland, they make the messenger, as how we don't talk briefly. But if for some reason, the brain and the pituitary gland, they keep sending the messenger, they say, now make more messenger, now make more messenger. Then the thyroid gland, they tell the brain, say, I don't make enough messenger there, so no send again. We call them feedback, negative feedback mechanism. Same way, so the thyroid gland can talk to the pituitary gland, say, I don't make enough messenger there, so no send again. Now that's they happen normally, but sometimes in problem situation, nobody know they listen to anybody. So now how will they get this iodine? Well, this slide they tell me some of the food items there, which iodine there, what will they get? Anti-Fatima, I don't talk plenty, but the nutrients that what will they get from the food what will they eat, and these I believe are part of it. So seaweed, codfish, dairy product, iodized salt, shrimps, tuna, prawns, beef, chicken, cheese, eggs, etc. They all get iodine. What will they get after we eat them food? This is not just a picture for show some of the food that were rich in iodine. Like I don't mention the seaweed, the shrimp, tuna, eggs, prawns, lima beans, peas, corn, banana, broccoli, carrot, bean, etc., etc. They're all rich in iodine. But how much iodine where the body really need every day for lay function? Well, if we take 1 gram of iodine and divide them into 1,000 equal parts, this is a very small way. We take 150 out of that 1,000. Now that's the body need for making function properly every day. So we say now the organs there, or the tissues there, or the cells there, where then messenger speed man 3 and 4 they affect. Well, this diagram they tell me say the liver, the heart, the brain, the bone, then the skin, the reproductive system, the fat tissue, the muscle there, even the gut. So how this then messenger they affect the organs here? Well, we all know say the liver now in they store the excess food where we don't need at the moment. Like if I eat boku today, the body they just take what you need for today. What you don't need, the liver they store. So then messenger then they go to the liver and stimulate the liver for make it release glucose from the food we don't store yesterday or the previous days. The one they will go book then call that process the glycolysis. So the liver they release that food day with energy, with heat. And if you get too much of the messenger, that process they do very fast. Same way so now the heart, if the messenger go to the heart, then they make the heart they beat very fast. Then that's they make the blood pressure they go up. If not the brain, again, the messenger then too much, the brain they act very fast. They think fast, they act very fast, they become very irritable. If not the bone, where then messenger they control the bone growth. Well, if you get too much, then the breakdown part of the bone modeling, now they become more prominent. On the other hand, if you get less, then more deposition of the bone will happen. In the skin, if you get too much of this messenger there, speedman 3, speedman 4, this they cause for let the blood vessels they open wide. And where they open wide, that means the blood they flow freely. And so the blood they carry heat along with that. So that they make the skin temperature high, then it will deposit sweat fast, so the body will become kind of wet. Now the reproductive system also, then messenger they affect this system. And so much so if them boku, then they confuse this system. If na woman, you know, we able born picking, if na man, same thing. On the other hand, the fat tissue, where we call adipose tissue, then messenger herself, they act on them, then they cause the breakdown of them tissue to what we call glycerol, fatty acids, all the while they release energy for the body in use one. But if you too much again, that will make this breakdown they be too much, we're going to make us in this way. And the muscle then, again, then messenger they make the muscle there, then they work hard, then they work too fast, so much so that it will tire quick. You just stand there until you don't call it a speed man. Then we say you they can run very fast, a distance of maybe 2-3 miles. The more you they run fast, the more you they tired, the more your body they generate heat. Well, for be honest, I never know where Krio man say run better until where I've been prepare for this study. Because to me, I've been just the word the belly just go beside how the belly will run. But actually, the same principle, then messenger they make the gut movement will be so fast, so much so that they give diarrhea where human call on below. So I think now that word come up. This now just more organs and tissues where their messenger they affect as I don't talk. What I don't tell you now briefly now in the on this slide. So we can divide the malfunction of the messenger or this gland into two broad categories. One, na the hyperthyroidism, or too much or overactive thyroid gland. The other side, na too few or too little, too low messenger then, where we call hypothyroidism. The hypothyroidism, picking them, newborn picking them, it can happen because one, sometimes the glands have not been formed by picking. And if that happens, this may cause a condition where we call creatinism, where instead they cause growth failure, the picking not able to grow as it's supposed to grow, or they get late development. On the other hand, if this happens to young adults, what we call adolescents, let's say from the age of, well, the book then say 13 to 19, then we say from 16 to 19, this may cause for that they get, that young adult gets short stature, short, tall, then they're able to think properly. In thinking can be very less. Also, if you get this condition within that age group, that they make immature sexually earlier than is supposed to be, what we call precocious puberty. In adults, however, for big people then, if this condition happens, it can be reversible if they treat them in good time. Same way, so as I don't see how the body they control the messenger, we understand from the past slides the hypothalamus or the brain involved. If that brain gets accident or it gets trauma or injury or it gets cancer, then we will get hypothyroidism. We will get very few messenger. Also, it can be due to infection, like where woman can born. It can be say if they bleed too much, then until I've been telling her say now the blood now they transport the messenger. So if the woman don't bleed too much and the blood searching, then they're able for transport the messenger. That they cause a condition where we call Shahan Syndrome. This now for just compare how your body will look like if you get less, you get few of the messenger, or you get too much of it. So on the left-hand side, we get few of the messenger. What is happen? Well, you will get hair loss. You will also get the gegana growth. That is where the gland they become enlarged or big. But on the left-hand side, where you get too few, your face will become swell or puffy. You act the beat slowly, the beat the normal way. You dey gain weight because your body not able for digest the food in time. Then you got not dey move normally, so you will get constipation. But again, then people are not able to be a cold at all. The one that will get few of them messenger. On the other hand, if you get too much of them messenger, you eye then they bulge. It sounds like the one commode at the eye socket. Same way, so if you get too much, you add the beat fast, your pressure they go up, you they lose weight because the body they use the food or the glucose too quickly because there's speed mania where the speed of the body will work. On the other hand, because of this same speed business, you get diarrhea. And then people are, they're not able to bear heat at all. These are more pictures where they show this condition where you get too few of the messenger or what we call underactive thyroid. If you start from your left, this is not the healthy normal person picture. But as you go towards the right, you see inside you get less of the messenger. So you get an throat, they become big, your face go be puffy or swell up, your hair go thin, you go lost hair, even the hair within at the eyebrow, you dey gain weight, you dey tire, you heart dey beat slow, cholesterol they build up, the muscle then they tire, then they become weak, the muscle themselves then they get pain. The reproductive system itself they become mixed up, sometimes you know where you born king if na woman or man. Then people are they become depressed easily, then they become constipated, you know, the gland they become enlarged or get a throat. The joints themselves can get pain, the skin they dry, as we don't talk earlier, then your voice can be hoarse or kind of hoarse, then they're not able to be according. This now another picture where just they show more of what I don't talk to. For the people that will get less of their messenger. Okay, so the hypothyroidism or the too few messenger there, we can divide them into three largely. First of all, it can be say now the gland itself don't fail. Now they the problem there, in other words. If now the gland, the get in our throat or the thyroid, now you get the problem, well now they the cell and the way they make the messenger. So if now you get the problem, obviously, then you're not able to make the messenger. So you will get this hypothyroidism. On the other hand, because we get control from above or orders from above, it can be said now the pituitary gland or the hypothalamus. In which case, if now the hypothalamus, you know, they release the TRH messenger, or if now the pituitary gland, you know, they release the TSH messenger. So either way, you get few of the messenger. But within the gland itself, within the thyroid gland, the number one situation which I would get less of the messenger, we call them Hashimoto Thyroiditis. Hashimoto are now just one Japanese guy who first discovered this condition, and so they end up for name this condition after. But basically now, like soldier, they were supposed for protect the body, we're supposed to protect this blood. Now them back don't turn against, begin to destroy the gland. Obviously, now the gland now they make the messenger. So if they don't destroy them, then you're not able to make the messenger. On the other hand, the other condition can be say, where woman they born, they can bleed, sometimes excessively, as I've been saying before. In that case, enough blood not go there for work around the body. Then this condition can develop. When it develops, but within 1 year, this situation can be resolved. The other condition now, virus then germs, they can also attack the body. This, it gets a special name where we call the human thyroiditis. It can be very painful. The gland they swell, and that swelling they can be very painful. In that case again, they get few messengers. Well, other different soldier man than they will call their IgG4 antibodies. They're waiting and they do, then they kind of falamakata the true soldier then. But waiting then they do, then they occupy the side inside the true soldier, therefore occupy for protect the gland or the body. Where they occupy that side, then they cause the gland for this scar. Just like when you wound, that wound don't heal, you form a scar tissue. Obviously, not to help the tissue. Therefore, you're not able to make them messenger. That condition there we call a radiothyroiditis. On the other hand, if we get surgery because of maybe one problem or the other, then they remove this gland, this throat, then obviously you're not able to make the messenger there anymore. In which case, then therefore give medicine for the rest of your life for supplement for the messenger the way you're not able to make it. On the other hand, this can be another form of treatment. We call them radioiodine therapy, where then they give this radioactive therapy for control the gland, for stop from it too much of the messenger. Where this happens, this iodine, they destroy the gland also. So in time, you will find out, say, if they not control them correctly, you don't get enough healthy tissue for make the messenger. But worldwide, the most common problem is iodine deficiency. Plenty side at the world, we say iodine not there enough, or people not they eat enough iodine in their food. And when that they happen, we also get this condition. But the paradoxical situation or the irony here is there is a situation where sometimes they try to treat this low messenger production condition, hypothyroidism. We give too much of iodine. When this happens, unfortunately, that too much iodine, they shut down the production of the messenger. So either way, you're not going to be able to get enough messenger. The last thing where I go talk about now under this condition, now medicine the way we they give for treat other conditions then where the heart can beat randomly and very fast. We can give medicine where we call amiodarone, or for treat like a bipolar disorder, so the lithium and other medicines. Then medication, yeah, they cause for let the gland not able to produce enough of the messenger. Or if we give radioactive iodine 131, this not just the condition where I don't talk about briefly, that not the postpartum thyroiditis, where woman born picking. So these are some of the symptoms then of this condition, the postpartum thyroiditis. Either way, the body not able to make enough of the messenger. So you're not able to be a cold, your skin they dry and you look rough, you get constipation, you air, now the age they lost. The gland itself they become enlarged, you act a bit slow, etc. Just like how we don't talk before. So that way now just the signs the way I don't talk about before about this hypothyroidism or this low messenger production. Same way so but picking them, newly born picking them. If they get hypothyroidism, then they present with pot belly, their skin look pale, their face them puffy, the tongue can protrude, even the umbilicus can protrude. I get a picture now where they show now these symptoms for a newborn picking. As soon as I can see the pot belly on the left and the protrude tongue. Okay, we see say either way, whether more messenger production or less messenger production, person they get throat. This not just three pictures the way they show this throat. Actually, we get a condition where the gland in big parts what you see by this picture. But so how will they diagnose this problem? Well, we can do blood tests. We test the TSH, one of the messenger where the pituitary they send, and then the speedman himself, speedman 4, if you remember. And then we can do MRI imaging for see what is happening at the gland itself. In the case of Hashimoto condition, we'll first talk about. We can test the sodium mandel, the thyroxine peroxidase antibodies and the thyroglobulin antibodies, or sodium mandel. We can also take the history. If person will take medicine, sometimes they have problem with the amiodarone, or you get a psychiatric problem with the lithium. We can take that history. The once we know, say, if we don't take the medicine, then we know exactly what is the problem. For other countries, the developed countries, where they born picking within 24 hours, then they test that picking day. Then they do TSH, one of the messenger, for see if that picking get low messenger production, let them able to handle that situation in good time. But either way, the treatment for this condition of low messenger production with a give levothyroxine. In the case of hyperthyroidism or boku of the messenger where the gland they produce, one of the conditions there where they cause this, we call them Graves' disease. This again is a sodium problem. The sodium is supposed to protect the body, for protect the turn against the gland, but then they produce sodium the way different from the normal one there, but then they phalamakata, then they mimic the normal one there. So then they occupy the side we call the receptor, inside the normal one that they occupy, and that they cause overproduction of the messenger, the speedman 3 and speedman 4. Also, the gland itself can get nodules, either 1, 2, 3, or plenty, where they just become big, and that again they cause this condition, overproduction of the messenger. On the other hand, the gland or the thyroid can just swell, it can become inflamed, in which case, again, it will lead to overproduction of the messenger. Or sometimes the pituitary, where they above the gland, the thyroid gland, where they send the TSH, or tell the thyroid for making produce the messenger, then it can get cancer also. If that happens, then the thyroid they produce boku of the messenger. On the other hand, we can get a situation for a woman there where we call molar pregnancy. This pregnancy, not a true pregnancy, but what they happen now, this condition they lead to plenty production of other messenger where we call ACG. This messenger, the phalamakata, the thyroid messenger, the TSH. So this again they cause overproduction of the messenger, the speedman messenger, what we talk about now. Other cancer again where we call Carcinoma, in fact they lead to the same problem. We get one other phenomenon where they happen because we they give the person iodine, where they cause overproduction of this messenger. They call angio-based phenomenon. Same way, so we get which I will call now ectopic pregnancy. Pregnancy where they happen outside the womb or outside the uterus. When this happens, it can cause also overproduction of the messenger. The last thing I will talk about now is we call a thyroid storm. This is a condition where a life-threatening emergency situation. What can happen is person can get this overproduction of the messenger, you know, they not treat them for some reason. If they not treat them at all, if she don't with them, anything strange, anything outside of the gland can happen. Sometimes you go undergo surgery operation for other reasons. Once you get that trauma there, this just the trigger this situation. This now like way rebel then can attack them, Boku, government troops then come, themselves then Boku, then civilians then they Boku, all man just scatter. All man, nobody know they listen to nobody, all man just confused, all man just they set fitty fatter. This kind of condition they kill person quick. Now I make some country them before they do operation and they test for she say you not get too much of their messenger, because if you get them and then do operation by you will likely die on the operation table. But so the Graves disease, where you get an so the eye and the bulge out, like you can see on this picture. So again, the symptoms, if they get a growth, obviously, if they sweat too much, the heart they beat, what we call palpitations, they beat randomly, fast, if they lost weight, etc. More symptoms of which I just don't talk so. Of course, if they burn energy too much, and so if they become hungry, and if they lose weight, if they lose hair, etc. Now just the symptoms the way I don't talk about so far. So how will they diagnose this problem? Well, again, we take history, we do physical examination, try to feel the gland around the neck and feel how it is. Again, if we see the eye and the bulge out, where we call proptosis or exophthalmos, this again an indication. Or where the neck just be swell in that area inside the gland there. Or sometimes you hang them, they just shake uncontrollably. So now the lab we can test for them messenger, the TSH, the Speedman 3 and the Speedman 4. Or in the case of this Graves disease, then false sodium we call TSI, thyroid stimulating immunoglobulin. Then when at the false sodium, where the Falamaka the 221 then can be if na Graves disease. Also, we can do CT scan or MRI, and then we can treat with medicine like carbimazole. The last thing where I will talk about now today is cancer. As we probably know, any sign of the body can develop cancer. So the thyroid gland no exempted. We get 4 types of cancer in the gland itself, but it's more common for women for some reason, past man. The first type we call papillary thyroid carcinoma. EO is out of the whole thyroid cancer, in common, 80% so, followed by the follicular thyroid cancer and the medullary thyroid cancer. The last one, where the anaplastic thyroid cancer, EO, plenty, rare, but now in danger past before. EO, if you own you, then chances are you will likely kill you. The good thing is if they happen and then people their way don't old past 60 years, so not too bad. The stages there of this cancer, this thyroid cancer, we divide them roughly into 4 categories. The number 1, where the cancer is small, it just be within the gland, within the vagina. Or number 2, where it don't get big, now the gland, and it don't involve some lymph node there. The 3rd stage, now where it don't big and don't begin for invade for reach now other tissues them within the neck or even outside the neck. The last stage, when at stage 4, it don't go far beyond the neck. You don't go like to the liver, you don't go maybe to the heart or the lungs or the kidneys. So now the 4 stages then they want to go for this cancer. And if you see person where get this cancer, now so it can look like. And then picture, obviously the one at the left, you not go see and so. Now the top one on the right, now so it can look like. More symptoms of this cancer. You get pain at the neck. You get difficulty for swallow if not food or water set. You get difficulty for breathe, and they cough continuously. Your voice can sound hoarse, not they talk normally. Then you lymph nodes, then they swell also. Now just what I don't talk so now and list now. What we can do for diagnose this situation also. We do blood tests, we can do ultrasound, or we can do biopsy. Cut small pan this gland and carry and go na lab for go see under the microscope, where we call fine needle autopsy. We can also do CT scan or MRI. Or for treat this condition, depending on the extent, it can either be surgery for pull the gland, or we give the radioactive iodine, as I mentioned earlier, or we give the messenger that would replace them with artificial messenger. Una, thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Dr. Rashid. Wow. Hey, I'm sitting on Frizo. Thank you very, very much. My family them to be here, you have seen before. See, there's a lot of things in the we not be know, but this thyroid gland. I know like more than no bokutin in there, I know like bokutin in there, I don't know. I hear the first time last week. And today I don't carry him back. We don't present. So I believe see a lot of them don't learn from him. So I'll go for open the floor for to ask any questions when I get. I don't learn boku. We don't learn, you know, waiting and use, waiting at the issues then we can happen if you know they function properly. Now we know they ask the person if person feel free or maybe brave enough, you know, bold enough for let's say waiting maybe something will affect them, that's fine. But if you get any question we will ask about, you know, for let you understand more, I will ask you, like, you feel welcome to ask. One more thing I want to ask though, before anybody else, because I don't see anybody don't put in up it. One more thing I want to ask, these are if say somebody get them, I know if you say that's something way genetic, you know, genetically maybe somebody can pass them on to somebody else, or maybe that's something in the family line or whatever. So is this one parenting in there?
Yes, that's a good question. Thank you. We get one of the conditions there where they run in families, but actually anybody can get them until it connected with food. They get the iodine where the body need for make the messenger. So if you sit down for some reason, you know, they eat food that way gets this iodine, then you will develop one of the conditions. On the other hand, if for one reason you they take their artificial supplement of their messenger, then you will get too much, and then you will develop the other condition. But one particular condition, the way they run in families. So if Papa get them or Grandpa get them, it's possible say somebody down the line will also get a condition.
So you know which one for them, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you know which one for them way people for look out for when if we did have their family, then because few of we, I know I don't see this thing back home. I know like I'll be young, like I'll be afraid. If I see somebody get up, I'm afraid. I don't lie. Now if somebody don't get out of your family, is there a certain type way, person for be concerned about and maybe begin look at medical, medical advice for either for prevent and may not get them or for prepare yourself.
Yeah, I just did try for look for the right slide where to answer your question.
Okay. Well, while you look for that, we get a few of the other doctors them on the panel as well. Any of now I will try for unmute now. If you didn't have position for say add anything within Dr. Rashid don't say, feel free please, because I understand as well see even with Belle them as well, the complications. So Dr. Bell day within we as well, just in case he gets anything for add on to that. Dr. Kamar, Dr. Bell, don't get any additional to put yes, sir.
Yes, good evening. Dr. Conteh, I would say thank you for the presentation there. A very good presentation, a very good overview. I know say, boku information you don't give you so inside the space of half an hour, 45 minutes, and you break them down for making ordinary people then also understand, and we thank you for that. Yes, we know say for me na gynecologist, but me na my subspecialty in reproductive medicine, and we get a lot of patients then we get hypothyroidism, or we get the speed messenger there, as my brother they call them, low. Yeah, we get most of the patients we get problem with the thyroid glands then, and that the low one that they can get, or they can get the Hashimoto's. We get very few. We get too much messengers, but we still get them as well. And it actually find out say the period, the cycle, then can irregular. So a patient comes to we and say a cycle irregular, and then one forget picking, but then forget picking, then we definitely check that hormone there as well. There's a discrepancy on how high the hormone for day. The international community still they try for get a consensus for say waiting at the real doses or the real level where this hormone for day. But like for Germany, so there are a lot of studies that we don't show say just like how the normal the people that get a certain amount of the hormone that we're supposed for the normal people then like the normal in the world, and then it's also no, if woman is trying to get pregnant, it's all forget less than that. It's all for the TSH now they talk about, it will be less than that. But then get a few studies in the last 3 to 5 years, we don't show say no. If you just did like our normal person for get them, it's enough. But there is still a discrepancy. But we can say if the woman then gets the Hashimoto, for instance, then it will find for make the TSH, that means that the one with the common the pituitary gland where they come down to the thyroid gland, a level for this small. That means you're not supposed for the not supposed for the too high, because if you did too high, that means say theoretically speaking, they tell the thyroid gland for produce more, and then say okay, you're fine for make that hormone that level there around 2 instead of around 4. If you get the Hashimoto, and then they do that in a way where they give you the hormone. They're supposed to give you the hormone, the speed hormone. And my brother said we talk about the negative feedback. So when you give people the hormone, then you will get the negative feedback. So the pituitary gland will say, okay, well, enough in the body. So I don't need for produce more, for send more message to the thyroid gland so they produce more. But as I say, it's still, people are still debate on it at the moment. But for we know is that yes, if woman gets in an irregular cycle, then it's supposed for check that hormone. A lot in Africa, especially in salon, and also they check a lot. They get another hormone when they call prolactin, and this prolactin instead they come on now the same gland, the pituitary gland, also the TSH they come on. So a lot of times they check the prolactin and say, oh, the prolactin high. And if the prolactin just high a bit, people can tend for treat the prolactin. But theoretically speaking, not be saying that the prolactin high, it can be saying that the function of the pituitary gland high. So because the function of the pituitary gland high, they produce more TSH, and because they produce more TSH, it also produce more prolactin. So theoretically speaking, you get for treat dandy, you get for actually treat the hypothyroidism, and then with actually see we treat dandy, then the prolactin levels if they go down, and need for treat the prolactin. But now I've talked to sister Dr. Bell Salon, and he said they get a very, very good system at Salon for check for check the endocrine, well, they get an endocrinology system at Salon right now where they do a very, very good job. So if anybody gets a problem, lay right to me, I will contact the sister again for giving me more information about that. But they say it's Sierra Leone actually they improve on that area there, and get an endocrinologist where they do that. And that's a very good progress for Sierra Leone. Because this gland is very important gland, Marcelo.
Thank you very much. Right, one of the questions I don't know if you see the chart, Dr. Bell, it say what is the incidence of hypo and hyperthyroidism? What? Hyperthyroidism, in the African continent and in particular Salon. I don't know if we get that statistics there, but if we do, it could be fine for those share and place.
No, I may not know if we get that.
Even Dr. Cook, Dr. Cook said a surprise. Statistics for Africa, also Salon.
Well, I will take that blame there. I'm not really looking into that. Maybe I'll be for struggle for further information there. But to be honest, because I look at an overview, we might not just run there for looking into the statistics.
No, to be honest, just like how Dr. Patrick Cooker say, or is it Mr. Patrick Cooker? I'll ask him to say that, doctor. Basically, the problem is, as we all don't say in most of the program they wouldn't do, and some of this conversation they wouldn't get. One of the challenges that we get in Africa, or maybe it's a habit, or maybe the results not there, I don't know. But we know they keep statistics. We know they keep statistics. I mean, proper records of waiting they happen. And to be honest, the thing as one of the doctors then go confirm, it helps for let you build a picture of waiting don't happen in the past and how you will prepare for addressing things in future. But unfortunately, we not get the facility in there. For years and years, we use clerical stuff, stuff on paper. And that paper, they wish they don't do they take and go file and on side. The next day, you go see maybe now we didn't Ghana to Casada with a junction. And also the process if we write who side they go keep and there's no proper structured format how they keep their records in there. Now, within a computer, for example, even if now structured data, there are ways, there are codes and they will run, we will pull and in a structured format, we will give you something at least for start with, but in real continent to not get that. And also, for me, an experience, so I know they talk about, say, this is actually what's happening, but just by waiting immediacy, we not get that collaborative working effort in Africa. Maybe now, maybe that's until don't begin with with Ebola, will be happen before cholera and every other small disease that can happen. We need to get a collaborative way for work, because of that way they will be able to get all the statistics here. Because if it is alone, you get a small one, a surgery. Yes, it will tell you about your own catchment area, it will tell you about your own patients then, but you're not able to give you a bigger picture of what they happen nationally, or maybe you just within even your own tongue. More so as well, you get for look at West Africa, then you go for look at the wider Africa. So I believe say this is something for only the doctors and for long I begin. I know so I don't get forums then when I get, you know, from WhatsApp to online and whatever like that. I believe say if we not continue this one in future, I believe say we go begin get the required statistics we'll need. Mr. Kimoyo Mono. Yes, sir.
Sorry, thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Dr. Conteh, this is a very wonderful presentation and a very interesting, because right from the start, you reach me personally in a form of nostalgia. My first name Nakai, mina ethnic Konoman, we come saloon, yeah. A part of the observation, or better said, the questions where I were asked have already been addressed. One by Mr. Fuller already, and secondly, Dr. Robin Coker, I think. Okay, now, at the big padding, una just give me small term for able explain why this particular presentation touched me so. As I say, mina ethnic Konoman, and the first part of this now more like folklore, hearsay, and then kind of stuff then they. But initially, the Kono people then wandered towards the West African coast in search of salt, okay, from Central Africa. And I remember now, we have been small, who they gonna village, beaucoup people them in the way been get gegen at hot. And like how Mr. Fuller talk, that thing and they been the amazed we small. Yeah. The explanation the would them the give was small now that, well, we entire group wander in search of salt. And if you watch we the Konos and the Vice, kind of related. Kono in itself originally means una wait naya, while the other one then they go look for the coastline so that then we will get salt. Okay, so Kono means makono una wait here. Now, like I say, from my own personal observation, women have been small picking, but people of my own grandpa generation, they get gegen at road. And like even one me and Tibin, they invoice been so deep. Yeah, we they talk. I mean, every baritone or bass in any choir go set him out first, let it listen to that me and way they talk. Yeah.
So yeah. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So as a result, I remember say, Wobindego Kono, people in Kono, they eat quite a lot of salt. It's like traditional. Me not been quite understand this until the folklore came into it. And some of the people I got these accounts from, were relatively educated people who supported it and, or who, well, supported it at that extent and explained, well, this has got to do with our cultural history, which is why we tend to eat a lot of salt. That's not been my observation as speaking. A second observation where I get growing up and up till today is a good number of people, apart from having goiter, a good number of people in Kono they suffer from either high blood pressure or can suffer heart attacks. I don't know how the interplay comes here, right? Most likely there was some kind of hypo oil deficiency, and then they overcompensated with too much salt and so on, and that kind of thing. And now I come to the real questions I have. But this is not the background why your presentation immediately reached me, because it has to do with my heritage as well. the first question Mr. Fuller already asked, I want to know is it potentially hereditary? Can anyone inherit it? That means for them be my first question. The second question being therefore do with epidemiological statistics. We get sufficient numbers, figures, statistics, we go able tell whether in certain regions a particular disease is prevalent. And I mean, that has already partly been answered. The first question we have been get has already been asked, so it will find if I able get an answer from you directly from your own personal observation. And just before done for talk, me contribution, the last one, I've been on a number of times. I know the two talk boku one them. The only thing is I want to tell the Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh Gentri team a very, very big thank you for this series we want to do. I think it's really remarkable. But also I want we always interested and can listen. Let we use this as a trajectory for help improve health services in Salone, but also around the world, not just in Salone. I mean, for instance, person like me not get medical background. I listen and I understand a lot of other things. Personally, Mr. Fuller, this could be a slight challenge to you as an IT person.
Sure.
Me not today into IT, but I did into data processing as well. And I think what we need to do is assist by setting up an IT structure where collaborative statistics can be gathered so that other experts can have a base they can rely on. For instance, like when they talk, say, my own observation, waiting me see as speaking, na my own region usa komot, na one. If people and they we get them, then we could have very targeted studies into some of these epidemiological situations. Okay, I thank you all very much for listening to me.
I'll go there in touch.
Okay.
Thank you very much, boss.
Wonderful. Yes, Dr.
Yeah, Dr. Conteh.
Yes, sir.
You're waiting, Mr. Kaisi. So, waiting that you can sponsor.
Well, I thank you very much, first of all, for camp with one of the sessions then today.
No, the first thing is so, Mr. Kai, don't say it. Mr. Kai has season poor now. Don't worry.
Okay, apologies.
No.
Well, one of my first boss where I work in a hospital setting in Carcinoma, so
okay.
due respect, sir. For come to your question, there is a genetic component way associated with them condition.
Okay.
But according to the general information out there, the most common cause of especially hypothyroidism, where you get low, where it can cause Kegan throat. Now, because iodine insufficient, iodine not do. Whether the cancer or the less messenger or the more messenger, there is a genetic component. Okay? This no will answer your question directly, but I'll not be one for going into too much detail in one aspect because overview I just take. All the conditions that were mentioned, each of them don't do for a whole presentation. And then that can take me to a little bit more detail. I think what it is here is, we on as Salome, I believe. I think the salt, the canned salt where we will get Gentri, not get iodine. If they talk about the Western world now, every store which they buy food item or salt, particular salt the way iodized, where they put iodine panel. So in case you buy other food that will not get much iodine the food, you can get that from the salt. But again, the other complication is salon hypertension don't they grow. And one of the problems where they carry on or complicate the hypertension are salt intake. So people then can wait and don't get advice here and there, they can tend for abstain from the salt. Well, me no know to begin with whether we salt salon iodize or not. But if you iodize and then you abstain from them, yes, you will solve the heart problem, but actually you will solve them because less of the iodine, they give you problem. Even with the heart they slow down, where now that problem of itself. So the genetic components, they now the cancer side, now the left side, or now the plenty side. I don't know if I address that situation there or somebody want to add to.
Yeah, the point that you bring come up about the salt and hypertension and stuff like that, I think we don't talk about Naya before. So I will therefore can put this to Dr. Toure, Dr. Kamara for let them able help you a little bit. Because it's Alexi, if you do one, you do the other one, you know.
They get an interplay.
Yeah. Then another thing is if we can get Fatima for the help as well, because if somebody don't want to eat salt, you know, because of whether I believe or because of medical reason or whatever, is there certain type of food we then go eat, we go compensate for the iodine we then they get via salt?
Well,
that's Dr. Rashid. Yes, Dr. Rashid.
If you see the picture where I show food rich in iodine, they mention particularly this seaweed, we not see in reality yet, but this seaweed particularly rich in iodine, even the codfish, even the tuna. So you know means because it's salt, if you get the other options there, you know go get the iodine where you need. After all, the amount where the body need is so small. If you remember, I say if we take 1 gram and divide them into 1,000 equal parts, the body just needs 150 of those parts. So it's very small, relatively small. But Dr. Bell, you can carry on if you want for action.
I just go on. We carry talk about the family they come to the coast. Most likely the family normally can only forget salt, but most likely also forget seafood, because seafood also rich in iodine. And then the main issue is that people don't know they eat salt. If you eat enough seafood and then they will get and pant in a salon, and then it's a problem forget seafood in a salon. And then they will also help. And most likely, as I say, the Kono people not only come for salt, but also maybe for the seafood. And because the seafood so sweet, they make them stay. Most likely.
We'll go talk about that. We'll talk about that whole rich salon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Toure. You get anything you want to ask, please?
Very good, very good. I enjoyed the conversation. Very good, Mr. Kai, in questions and submission. Very, very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Conteh, for that presentation. I think you don't answer most of the questions there, because you get genetic components by almost everything. We know, say, half of the people that we get Graves' disease, the kind of autoimmune thing, the tendency for run in a family very high. graves in a hyperthyroid. And it mentioned certain things the way clearly they show graves, the voice change, the hypertension, the heart beats faster, all if you don't talk now the presentation, so then they just clearly show. And where they talk about the presentation, they talk about outside the thyroid gland, they near the voice box. If you get cancer, I talk about one cancer where they spread faster. We can go either the local or go on the other side them, you see. So when people need to do then thorough tests, then they can see some people get anything in the long time, they just collapse, die, and all anything and they can happen, you see. So it's more about thorough investigation. So if somebody gets another family, not necessarily means say all man of the family they get them. That's one thing for nobody in genetic thing. And maybe one day we'll get for talk about genetics, in details. If one person gets an miss all man of the family go get her. So, and you don't talk about the diets where somebody for take. And most of the things, even the hyper and hypo, it talk about the autoimmune panel. And autoimmune get links with other conditions, like pernicious anemia, where you need able for make enough of the vitamin B12 and stuff, and even Addison's disease, where now part of the adrenal and gland where they produce steroids not enough. So if you get autoimmunity, they affect other side, like I did talk about in Sujamande. You see, so it get links with other things, and so it's all about staying healthy, and and the amount of iodine we need is really small. You see, and like how and Mr. Fuller say, we don't talk about hypertension and the effect of salt. What you can advise people then can say less is more. Too much of one thing is good for nothing. They can say anything they do, adopt moderation to run.
Yeah.
No say I no go eat, I no go get iodine at all because afraid getting at all. You need that, your body need that. And you no go say I no go eat salt at all because your body needs certain amount of salt. If you not get that, you will get hypothyroid, waking then a whole topic of hyponatremia when a whole topic of so you need salt for regulate the body in function, the speed of the body. You need all the things and they. So I make with somebody, people are not can see don't almost say I know they eat, then go anorexia. Say I know one for it, they exercise this, that. It cause harm to yourself because the food is needed. The body need that food, not for let you belly full, not to for let you belly full. Now for let the organs that will make you as a human being, they function. So which is why you need the food. So less of the identify. So person not afraid, so if me person me don't get this, I will get her. You just do your routine checks and yearly checks. I'm sure you'll be fine. So each of them thing and they don't explain them. Then talk about statistics na salon. I would say the SLMDA, then they do a lot of people, then they do individual studies them where I know they get an archive where they put out. I don't know if they're online or not. And I don't know if somebody don't do a study specifically about this, where maybe they're in the archives where publish, or because they're online now, go before Google and check out or check them in a day, but it might be because if you don't work in a salon, then thyroid operation and they you don't be involved into, and they do thyroid boku, and medical school they so medical medical school day for let you finish your medical school, you need to do some studies. So somebody must don't do studies somewhere. We go be in the archive, but maybe they no publish them. Maybe possibly they will go for talk more on that.
Yeah, now the point I know I will try to make as well. See, when you do statistical studies or you keep record, for keep your own personal record, for your own, catchment area, it's always good. But for let it benefit, or for let get the desired benefit, you need that collaborative effort, that collaborative work. So I don't know how I get what happen, but at some point they need to get that discussion as to how they able to share information. It's not about somebody coming out and say, "Oh, they can out you, say you studies what you don't do, not proper." As we all know, science waiting be work. For example, like they work with insecurity. Things then they will be don't agree to when I be the standard, maybe year 2000 or even 3 years ago before COVID. All of a sudden, COVID come along. them standards, they're not applicable anymore. They're not secure anymore. So therefore move on to new and better things. So you know what I mean? Say because somebody published something, means say, you know, not the Holy Bible. No, somebody can challenge them. As everybody know, science, well, the one that will do science, you know, see, where you bring something out is there for somebody for challenge them. One, for prove them, see, yes, which you say it is right, or how can we make improvement to it? There's nothing wrong with it, but at some point, somebody get for try for, you know, bring the people out together. So, okay, listen, let we all work together for one good, you know, maybe get a central database where people are going to put good information. I trained it because that's the other thing. Having information is one thing, but having the proper information, you know, good information is another thing. Because if information not good enough, then regardless of the kind of data we keep, is useless. But I hope say, like I don't say, me and Mr. Kai will have a discussion. We'll go see. Maybe they get something with the weekly already, but the doctors will be back home. I believe somebody will point to the right direction at some point for say yes, something they go on. Yes, we at an infancy stage, but something they on. If there's any way where we can add value, not me say we go tell them waiting for do, but if there's a way where we can add value, why not? And it not just be with maybe there might be other people and where they do similar efforts as well. So we're ready for collaborate. Mr. Gilpin Jackson.
Before you go,
yes, sir.
Further, regarding making a publication, maybe just few basics we need for know. It will be well, I can't see the thing go in the archive. You know, Salon may not be as advanced as maybe other side the way you just do something publish online. Okay, then one thing we get for consider. Two, for let you publish a paper, it become local. You get local publication, they get international publication. And the international publications also, you get certain area them where you publish, where you just present your paper, then they scrutinize them first, then one. And so you get for go so many process. We done in a whole day discussion for go through the processes and before they allow let you present them and their own paper. Now make what they do presentation there. We can put at the bottom or at the end references also how we get to information for no say authentic and all that. Yeah. So for like for instance, say, you know, Cochrane review or certain journals and they for like put and you get for go through all things there. So Salon must get the local one. It may not be online or somebody really go talk. But for Lego put international again, that's not a whole different issue.
Yeah, basically, you talk about the governance processes around NTR, which is very important because you know while anybody from anywhere update information. It's like even on Wikipedia, for example, you not go change certain thing and if you not meet certain criteria. So there will be governance process, but one first of all, the baseline will be they get something first of all in place. Okay, if they get something, waiting and get. The next question will be why didn't they do them that way? Because when you propose anything, you get to understand what they do, how they do them, and why did they do them. Whether you make any proposal, but like I said, I can't make any assumptions now. We will get to ask questions first, and if there's any way where we go add value, why not? We'll not go charge for that. I'm sure Mr. Kai no go charge for that.
As they say, information is power, and I agree very much with the concerns with Dr. Turedi raised. But on the other hand, I think it is essential in order for us to progress that we actually try to have a base that is reliable but also available. And naturally, with all publications, they go through a certain process of waiting, and they call that university rigor. That means people then they ask you every kind of question for check if your information or your publication irrefutable in any way, So we respect all of that. However, I think it's essential to some extent for let we get just the basic information in numbers. And Naimik specifically use the term epidemiological, meaning we they try anonymize that information be. But for instance, if somebody laws in a medical specialist or an expert, you are help Salon, and you're not necessarily sure outside the occurrence of a particular health problem there, you just might find yourself located or setting up shop in the wrong place, right? Whereas if, for instance, we already aware, say, like from my own observation, yeah, there might be a problem with thyroid in Conteh, then it already makes that location an interesting place to do my research, because the incidences just might be higher, and I think that basis is waiting me and Mr. Fuller they refer to, Okay, I thank you very much. This is
thank you very much for your
quite
contribution.
interesting. This is really quite interesting.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gilpin Jackson, you will be the last. I think that doctor, if you unmute yourself, please, sir. Hold on the one at a time.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How are you? Welcome.
Yes, thank you. A quick question. I kind of joined a bit late, so it may already have been answered. And
we'll find you for that, no worry.
No problem. Regarding the thyroid issue, the throat, which maybe you can call a growth, I can just curious because I can see them a few times, more for older people. So I can wonder if reversible. And by reversible, is it reversible or could it be reversible through medication and all that, such that the swelling and all that or growth they go down? Or if you want to reverse the swelling or growth, you get do a cosmetic or surgical operation or what? Because I can wonder if that actual growth you get a growth if you're not reversible. That's my question.
Thank you
very much, sir. Thank you. Dr. Rashid.
That's a very good question. Whether it's reversible or not, it depends. Like I put on so generally. It depends on the stage where the condition don't be, and it depends on the kind condition, because there's one of those conditions where they cause, as I've been mentioned, they cause kind of scar tissue, okay, where they lead to low production of the messengers. So if you don't get too much of that scar tissue, that fibrotic tissue, but they help, they produce anything. It's like dead tissue. So it's not reversible. Maybe for improve the cosmetic appearance of the victim, they will go for removal or remove part of it or the whole lot if it's non-functional. But again, it depends on how far the condition don't go and which kind condition. Because if now, for example, the other soldier, the way just they bind the receptor sites of the normal soldier, the way they protect the gland, then that can be reversible. Once you block their side and they beside the abnormal soldier, then they attach or bind, then over time it will be reversible, or even with medication it will be reversible. But otherwise, if now cancer, for example, and it don't spread outside the gland itself, if they not pull that gland, well, even if they pull out, if you don't spread beyond, it will come back. So now I make us say it depends on the stage and which kind of condition. I don't know, anybody else can add to that?
Dr. Tugay, you want to add anything to that?
I think that's very clear. It depends the stage and the type of day. If not just ordinary hypothyroid, they're on medication, you come to euthyroid stage. Sometimes hyperthyroid medication back within the give where they come to euthyroid stage. You know, if not cancer, then a different and story than they, you know, how they go treat them. You see, so and as you talk, it more with elderly people, but it makes sure again about pregnancy. You know, if you get because the beta HCG they mimic, then you know their hormone, then they so after pregnancy they go back to normal. So somebody like Dr. Bell don't talk in detail about you want to get pregnant and they check you, and you know before that either they increase your medication or do adjustment to your medication. After that they come to normal. So and if you get certain virus, it talk in presentation, you know, virus can affect them, they come back to normal. It's all to do with you know with blood tests and stuff. And then condition then again maybe last word for people then say then can mimic other conditions. So thinking they can get and because in a elderly person we think in a menopause, so it's something to menopause, you know, and all that thing and they you see. So yeah, it depend on a lot of different things.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tugebe. Fambolem, unfortunately, they come to an end. Like I say at the beginning, for everything we begin, you get forget an end. One part of the thing that we Dr. Tugebe just mentioned is that in a way, learn or self-medicate because we'll not get the full picture of waiting don't happen to we or waiting they happen. So the best thing for do, go hospital, let them do test on you, then let doctor tell you saying this. He'll be able to give you the best advice we go suit for you, your situation. Okay. So they can't go around the panel now for let the doctors then give them final word then we'll go close for today. And Dr. Tugebe, you just don't talk, so I'll give voice a little bit of rest. So I'll go to Dr. Bell first, then I'll go to Dr. Tugebe. I don't know if Dr. Kamade, which we be able to talk. If not, I'll go to Dr. Conteh, then we will finish for today. So Dr. Bell, sir.
Yes, Dr. Conteh, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Mr. Fuller, thank you for being our host. I mean, we could always thank the presenter. We never ever thank the host that much, but he did a very, very, very good job. You know, thank you very much. I mean, all this technical thing, so we always have the medical thing. We get to one idea. And Dr. and Mr. Fuller, they do it very, very good. Thank you very much for that. Thank all the people that we join in, people that we also give ask questions as well. I hope to see everybody be able for learn something from this. Also very happy for me. It's one of my old friends. I really get Jackson. I don't know if the last I hear him voice. So it's very good for hearing voice back today. The one thing I want to talk before I go is that checkups. Go for checkups regularly. You know, we can advise people then go at least once a year for checkup. And people not sound then they go for checkup that way. They be copying if you say, oh, now money. So if they wait for it till you sick before you go for checkup. You know, it's very, very important for go for checkup at least once a year. And this thyroid hormones, and they can check down there as well. And some people they can get problem with their heart and can think that the problem with the heart, but most likely now the problem with the thyroid hormone. You get problem with infertility, you get problem with the cycle, or a problem with the thyroid hormone. Because the thyroid hormone they handle a lot of things in the body. So it's always nice for at least go for checkup once a year and for see if everything okay and check up. Now check up, then they check you for see say everything okay. So people they can feel so, oh, I go to doctor and you know feel nothing say. Basically that's the important thing. Yeah, go to doctor, let check, and if you don't get anything, you're okay. You know, and then the one message then the way I go on for left to people in for today, and as now low, Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh past Gentri.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Tugebe?
Yes, people, Leona, thank you for joining me today. Thank you, Dr. Conteh, for your presentation. Dr. Bell don't talk about checkup. The other thing I would tell other people there is if you manage, if they say you get thyroid condition, you do on medication, you get for make sure you liaise with your doctor for know the right type of medication, the right dose, and when for adjusting. It's very, very important because where Dr. Conteh they present, it talk two things, either it too low or it too high. Waiting people learn for know if you day in you not a low, they know they take that medication, if you overtake the medication, it make you go too high. Then you get the problem where the person will get hyperthyroidism, where it can lead to so many consequences. And I don't see people and they take that medication again, so they use them for lose weight. Then they misuse the medication, then they overtake them. But when we do the blood test, where they check the blood test, so they know say this person here, it not be they taking medication. Now when they say for do the blood test, it take her yesterday, we didn't know. And this person here, don't they take them, but they overtake the medication. So them medication, they're very, very dangerous. If you take them too much, it will make somebody just collapse. Your heart stop for beat. You go with them, they talk about arrhythmia and all them things that they happen. So a very, very important. That's the first. The second thing is na salon. People all man, anybody within a hospital, na doctor. Let people know the difference between a doctor, somebody within a theater, where sometimes an assistant no more, or na where the door that in at the theater, no mean say if we go operate by you. Where it talk about thyroid storm, I don't see condition there, then conditions and they happen. If somebody just go no more, just go do operation because he can charge you less, and not do that pre-operative check. When in every standard side and they do pre-operative anesthetic, they go check you, make sure say you fine for go this operation. They need for do that. Otherwise, now the operation bed, now day, other thing will happen. So the life very, very important. The thyroid and where it be the talk is saying that the speed of the body, it control the body. So I don't say word to a wise is really quite sufficient. So I hope say the people there will not go hear this wire and next week again on our journey. Tell them thank you.
2 weeks time. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Dr. Conteh?
Yes. Family there, plenty thank you for where I can join me again today on this session. Me personally, I feel blessed and privileged for they among big one where I learn from. So that might be the first advantage to me. Number two, me heart really there to with it because I know what they happen now the medical science alone. I really get that passion for make the people then get help. So now the two blessings then they one the one. The one thing where they worry me a bit is because I come on a classroom. If teacher don't teach, then nobody no ask. That is a bit worrying to the teacher. It's like people they don't understand. Because anything we understand, you want to understand more, and therefore you will get questions. In fact, they say the more you understand, the more you get questions. So, family then, we don't take time for camp. We feel free for us. You know, mean say the speaker of the day will able to answer the question. If you're not able, other ababa then they will able to answer the question because in some way, we will represent we one way or the other for tell other people that we're not privileged for hearing for themselves. So we are all we take this thing serious. Let we help with people there. Now, thank you.
Okay, I don't know if Auntie Wugi, you know a position for talk?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to give final word, please? Can make a short one, please.
Well, very short. Very short. Thank you, Dr. Conteh and everybody, really, because you don't take small. We are not present because of work. I'm not getting nothing for say really because all the information where Dr. Conteh and the other people and don't talk is very important for everybody. So just for say Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh plus Gentri.
Thank you very much. For una know Auntie Wugi na a health visitor and also a mental health nurse. Maybe he just know what to talk. But if I'm thank you very, very much. I really apologize. Say we go slightly over, and also we start slightly late. But I'm sure, say, if this program go this long, it means say people really enjoy them, and I enjoy the conversation as well. And I believe say we all don't learn from this. So I hope say I go see you all again and more in a fortnight. Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh Gentri. Good night.
Good night.